The first character in the narrative, the final character to join the Losers Club. You see, Mike never leaves Derry. Whenever they defeat it as children in 1958 in the summer, the other losers slowly, one by one, move out of state, out of town, and lose their memories of the summer. Anything involving it, anything involving Derry, anything that would involve them remembering it in Derry that summer, gone. And they don't ever feel the need to be like, what was I doing in the summer of 1958? No. Mike, on the other hand, is the lighthouse. He remains in Derry. Therefore, he never forgets what's in Derry. That being said, as an adult, once he realizes that it has returned and that they have to make good on their blood oath, he takes it upon himself to make the 6 phone calls. Hello, Stan? Yes, Mike. I'm Black Mike. Yes, you know a Black Mike. Okay, look, remember it? From there, the most horrifying thing ever in life is back. Remember how you promised to come back? We all promised to come back. You gotta come back. So, let me know when you get in Derry and don't, kill yourself or anything, okay? Click. So he makes the other phone calls. And he reminds them, one by one, individually, yeah, we made a promise. You gotta come back. If you don't, you're gay for life. I mean it. And so when they all get back, he is the one that has to... He's the one that has the most... the least memory loss from it. Or, leaving Derry and forgetting about it. So he's the one that has to slowly just talk them into remembering things until they come to a natural remembrance of the moment for themselves. He's the one that suggests, okay, well, you're all just getting back. How about you take the afternoon and maybe just go somewhere you feel like means home in Derry to you. Something that reminds you of being, something that you, a landmark, anywhere. Anywhere that you feel like was a place in Derry that was a standout place for you. Beverly goes to her old house. Ben goes to the library. Eddie goes to the Tracker Brothers baseball field. Richie goes to the park. Stan doesn't go anywhere because he took himself in his bathtub. And Bill, by chance, comes across his old bike silver in the window of a pawn shop, secondhand rose, secondhand clothes. But as a child, Mike still has the role of the historian. You see, his dad, Will, would often send Mike to different areas around Derry with the note, bring back the souvenir, something to remember it by. And Mike does this. He goes to different places and he picks up little trinkets, and that's part of his character. He picks up pieces of history as souvenirs, like with Eddie Corser and Switchblade. So one morning, his dad sends him to the remains of Kitchener Ironworks, which, if you're in the know of Derry's history, Kitchener Ironworks once signaled the end, or maybe it was the beginning, of one of its cycles. But Mike isn't aware of that yet. So Mike goes there, and he's looking through the remaining debris of what remained, because Kitchener Ironworks exploded during an Easter egg hunt, and it killed over 100 children. So he's looking through the remains of the factory that's still there. And he comes across a giant bird. Okay, you probably didn't. Okay, you should probably be informed. Mike is afraid of birds. Well, not birds. He's afraid of Rodon. But I'm guessing because of legal copyright issues, it couldn't actually be Rodon. It is a giant bird with the spirit of Rodon. So Mike freaks the hell out, and he runs into a little shaft where he can find where the bird can get in to attack him at. Now, interestingly enough, there's a portion of the book where Pennywise, its own perspective, point of view, is shown, and it's mocking Mike, because it's like, you see, Michael Hanlon was afraid of birds, not knowing that he was only afraid of birds because he was attacked by a bird when he was a small baby, when he was helpless. You see, the telepathic, empathic, talus, glamour being that it is aware of why Mike has the certain fear that he has, even if Mike doesn't know. So Mike starts to fight back against the giant bird. He's throwing little tiles. And he manages to hit the bird in the eye. And he starts to curse the bird out. And the bird flies away. And he takes this moment of reprieve to flee. He escapes. He runs for his life successfully. And he makes it back home. And his dad goes, "How was it? Did you bring back something?" And Mike goes, "He's okay. Yeah, I got something." And another thing that is noted in the book is that Mike and Will, you see, Will has a form. Mike is a former, I guess you could say. So Mike is more aware of the changing of the seasons. This might also be something I read on TV Tropes. Mike is more aware of the changing of the seasons. His fear is more sophisticated and refined than the others. He's afraid of birds because the birds, which change over the course of a year, representing time passing. Mike is afraid of time. This definitely has to be something I read on TV Tropes. So, Mike, still in town as the others have gone, and in a period of hibernation, he begins to actively seek information about it during the other cycles when it was active. And he has to find specific residents that were at these events. Coincidentally enough, Will Hanlon, his father, was present at the fire in the Black Spot, the fire of the Black Spot. Now you see, Will's father, Will was in the army. He was in a black company. They weren't allowed to go clubbing with the other races of the army. So they were given their own little shed. It was a piece of shit, but they worked with it. And they turned it into a nice little club for themselves. And they decided to call it the Black Spot. Now, they begin to notice little sprinkles of salt with the pepper, and the salt becoming more and more present each week. And one of the people in the company said, "Hey, this is gonna get too dangerous. You know, there's the Legion of White Decency, which is okay. So it's like the KKK under a different name. So he's like, I really don't feel safe about this." And everyone else is like, "Look, they're just here to listen to the music. They like the ragtime. They like the jazz. We just add a little funk to it." But that leads to the fire, because exactly what the dude has said, warned about, is exactly what happened. The Legion of White Decency came, and they burnt it. They lit it on fire. And Dick Halloran, you might remember him from a hotel on the Overlook. He happens to be there. And it's a good thing he is there, because if not, Will Hanlon would have died in the Black Spot, and Mike Hanlon wouldn't have been born. Because Dick Halloran, if you remember Dick Halloran, then you remember that Dick Halloran has The Shining. So whenever they're running towards the doors to escape, which is where most of the people ran towards to escape, and not being able to open them, a lot of people got stuck where the doors were and died. Dick Halloran grabs Will and goes, "No, trust me, follow me, let's go this way." And they lead the other way. And as they're leaving out, Will sees the Legion of White Decency running off in the distance. And above the members of the Legion of White Decency, he sees a giant bird. Now the bird isn't flying, it isn't flapping its wings or anything like that. It's floating. Because under each of the bird's wings were balloons. Thousands and thousands of balloons. Now, Mike is now aware that him and his dad both had a very personal experience with it. And that they both saw it in the same form. There might be something deeper there that I'm missing. I'm just going to have to miss it for now because I'm not getting it. So, Mike goes on more of these interviews with various individuals. Mr. King being one of them, who tells him about the Bradley Game Massacre. And there's another guy that tells him about Claude Hero and him going to kill people at this bar because something about lobbyists, and it's complicated. There's a lot of politics involved. But anyway, so Mike has been recording a written history of Derry, but not the history of Derry accepted by Derry, but the truth of Derry that we don't really like to think about, we don't like to talk about. The Derry we don't really accept as Derry. The Derry that's better kept underground because it influences the citizens of the city. Because you gotta think about it, it came way before Derry was built. It has been lying inert and dormant under the ground, possibly for centuries, waiting for settlers to come to set up a township. And so Derry and it have a symbiotic relationship. It's kind of like an implicit agreement between the people of Derry and it. As in, you have your town. You have your town, you have that. I have my appetite. So there's an unspoken agreement between Derry and it. Every 27 years, kids go missing. That's just what happens in Derry. What's the problem? So whenever it in the final battle is killed when they're adults, the storm that coincides with the battle in the sewers that destroys most of the town, that kills many citizens, Calvin Clark included, who is Sissy Clark's twin brother, which I just found that interesting. But a lot of the landmarks around Derry are destroyed in that storm after it is finally dead. The bridge that connects the children's library to the adult section, destroyed. The tramp's chair falls on the chief of police and kills him. Now you see, the tramp chair is something that the chief of police gives a tour to Mike, and it scares Mike. And he's like, well, we use it to scare off the transients in Derry. And it's just interesting that it kills him during the storm, seemingly for no reason. A lot of the older citizens in Derry wake up, and they instinctively know something's wrong. And a few of them even go, it's those fucking kids. Even though they don't know what they're talking about. I think Mr. Keene also dies during the storm, maybe. I might be wrong. So, Mike isn't actually present at the final battle because right before the night that they go to the sewers to confront it again, Henry Bowers escapes from Juniper Hill. Henry Bowers gets a ride from Belch, who was killed in the sewers in the summer of 1958. And the car that Belch is driving is Christine. Really? Don't worry about it. But yeah, so Belch, actually it, tells Henry, I can't get them if they only half believe. And he hands Henry a switchblade. But you can get them if they fully believe, half believe. You can get them if they don't believe at all. And so he drops Henry off at the hotel that most of them are staying at. And Henry gets to Eddie first. No, he gets the mic first. He goes to the library first. Does he? Yeah, yeah. Wait. Okay, I'm. Crap. Yeah, he gets to the library first because fuck Mike. Definitely getting him first. He's black, right? That's the black one, right? That's Black Mike. Oh yeah, fucking right. So he goes to the library, and Mike's in there, and for some reason, he tries to talk to Henry, like he's trying to resolve the conflict verbally, knowing Henry is racist as shit, crazy as shit, and stupid as shit. So this earns him a pretty fucking nearly fatal stab wound. Henry, thinking that he's killed Mike, goes to the hotel, but he's a little bit damaged. He goes to the hotel and gets to Eddie first. And Eddie finishes the job. Eddie terminates the nigga. And so Beverly calls the library to ask Mike what's going on, if he's okay. And the police answer the phone and say, "You always call the library at 3 o'clock in the morning? Or is it only when or is it only when a murder is taking place? Who are you?" And so Beverly hangs the phone up. Mike got to take it to the library. And so they know that there's no other choice but to go to the sewers now. And now they don't have Stan or Mike. I felt a lot more confident when there were 7 of us. I felt a little bit worse when there were only 6, but not as bad as this. Who the fuck has ever heard of 5 as a magic number? 7? Shit, yeah. 5? No. And so that kind of damages his morale really bad. And while they're in the sewers, Mike is recovering in the hospital. And a nurse comes in. And Mike recognizes them because they had a sibling that died in the last cycle. And the nurse produces a needle. "Mr. Hanlon, this is what you do this to. It's gonna kill him." That was a lie. So they're going up to them to kill them with the syringe. And the losers that are in the sewers feel something is wrong. They form a circle. And they send Mike their power. And that saves Mike. And that's why the storm is going on. Because while the storm is going on, a lot of the residents of Derry are finding themselves getting killed. Boogers Taliendo, the kid that would tell people bullshit and just never got called out on it when they were kids. He's still in Derry. And he shows up again out of fucking nowhere. And he decides, you know what? I can definitely fuck off and not die in Derry. Fuck this. And Boogers survives. This bitch ass nigga, I don't hate him, I just don't like him. He leaves. He escapes and he lives. He lives to be just a douche another day in another city. Yeah. So, Whenever they leave, whenever they get up the sewers, whenever everything's okay, whenever the storm is over, they slowly leave the area again, one by one. Except Ben and Beverly leave together. Bill and Mike are the last ones remaining. And Mike goes, I don't really remember Eddie's last name. And Bill goes, it was Corcoran, right? Corcoran? No, it was like Kaspraki. And so, the process of them losing each other again, and them going back to not remembering each other at all, has slowly started. But it's finally dead, right? Right? No, I'm for real. Is it really dead or not?